Hello everyone, myself Mr. Hemant Pandey. I am the lecturer in the Department of Computer Engineering Shift A. So let's continue the topic sensor. Okay, so we have seen the first two video lecture of this chapter, right? So all these slides, okay, I am showing it one by one so that contact type, non-contact type, types of sensor, then potentiometer sensor, working of that sensor, application of potentiometer sensor, the strain gauge application, proximity sensor, right, its applications, then light sensor, its application, pneumatic sensor. Okay, so we have all seen all these things in the previous lecture. Then we have seen the pyroelectric sensor, right? So that was the last topic. So let's start with this new topic, that is a piezoelectric sensor. Okay, now just like pyroelectric sensor, let's see what do you mean by piezoelectric sensor. So a sensor which works on the principle of the piezoelectricity is known as piezoelectric sensor. Okay, so as simple as that. Basically there is a piezoelectric is not a sensor, it is a one kind of a principle, right? And if the sensor works on that principle, then we can say that it is a piezoelectric sensor, right? So basically, let's see, where piezoelectric sensor is a phenomenon where the electricity is generated if the mechanical stress is applied to the material. Okay, that is, when the force is applied on the piezoelectric material, it starts generating electric voltage. Right? So basically it's very simple. What happens whenever the force is applied on any material, on that piezoelectric material, that force is converted into small voltages, right? So if the more force is applied on that material, we will get the more voltage. If the less force is applied, we will get the less voltage, right? So we can say that the produced voltage is proportional to the amount of the pressure applied, right? So basically, what is the function of the piezoelectric sensor? It measures the amount of the force or amount of the pressure applied on that material, right? And how it is done? By converting the force into the voltage. Okay, so that is a simple function of a piezoelectric sensor. Now let us see what are the selection criteria of a sensor. That is, whenever you will go to some shop, right, to buy the sensor, what will be the things you will ask to the person to select a sensor, right? The first important thing is range, right? That is, what is the maximum and minimum range. Suppose you want to buy the weighing machine, that is a load sensor, okay, right? So if that load sensor is used in the weighing machine, which is for jewelry shop, right? So minimum range should be milligram, right? And maximum range should be max to max 500 or 1 kilo, right? Because no one will buy the gold in the kilo, right? Everyone will buy the gold in the gram or milligram, right? So you should know the minimum and maximum range. And suppose if that load cell is used for the construction site, okay, so we have to measure construction site or in any heavy industries, right, metal industries. So that load cell should be measured the value in the tons also, right? So we should know what is the maximum and minimum value of the sensor according to the application. Okay, it depends on different application. Resolution, right? What do you mean by resolution? The smallest change which can be sensed by the sensor, right? It means, suppose let's take the example of weighing machine only. The weighing machine of the in the jewelry shop, okay, it will detect the change in the 0.1 gram also, right? 0.00 gram, 1 gram also, right? Why? Because that is very costly. But if suppose so in that case we need a resolution of the resolution should be very high in that case, right? But if you want to measure the weight of the cement or something like that, right? So in that case your resolution should be low, will also be low, right? Because 1 gram or 2 gram will not any matter, doesn't do any difference, right? It will not make any difference. Sensitivity, a ratio of change in output to a unit change in the input, right? So small change in output there should be a small change in input, there should be a large change in output. So that is, it means it is a more sensitive. Okay. Error, difference between the measured value and the true value. So in that case, right, result in that weighing machine case, right, small error can be considered in the case when we are measuring the cement or something like that. But if we are measuring any gold or something like that, right, the error cannot be considered, right. Means small error will also make a very big differences. Accuracy, right, so it is inversely proportional to the error. Means if there is a small error, the accuracy is high, and if the error will be high, accuracy will be small, right. So also all these things you should ask while you are selecting a sensor. So all these things you should have to take care when you are selecting a sensor. Precision, ability to give accurate value repeatedly, right, it should also be high. Response time, time lag between the input and output, right, so it should be minimum. Suppose you are measuring the voltage, right, suppose there is a one sensor and that sensor is measuring the temperature. So it should not be like that the change in the temperature is measured after 1 minute or 2 minutes, right, because in that 1-2 minutes again the temperature of the room will be changed, right. So there should not be lag between the real time and the time at which we are getting the reading. Signal to noise ratio, that is ratio between the magnitude of the signal and the noise at the output. Calibration, okay, so sensors need a frequent calibration, so it is easy, so it should be easy to calibrate. Now what do you mean by calibration? Calibration means comparing that sensor with a standard one, right, because what happens, suppose let's take the example of weighing machine only. Suppose weighing machine, what does it do? It measures the weight, right, but what happens after few months or few years, there will be some inaccuracy in that machine, right, because of the frequent use. So what we will do, we will compare that measurement with the standard one, right, so it means we are calibrating it. Okay. Cost, it shouldn't be expensive, right, so of course that will be a very important criteria, because that depends on the budget of the application. Nature of the output, do we need analog output or digital output, right, it should be clear. If we want to give the output of the sensor to the computer or controller, then we need a digital output, or else just if you want to analyze or just we want to monitor, so analog output also will do. Okay. Environment, it is one of the most important parameter, because not all the sensor can work in extreme condition, right. Sensor can get affected due to the non-ideal condition like temperature, humidity, which may affect the output of the sensor. Suppose there is a very strong vibration on the machine, right, and if you are inserting the sensor on that machine, right, so the machine will be also vibrate. So you should know what is the environment of that sensor, where you are installing that sensor. Interfacing, it should be compatible to use with a wide range of instrument. Size and weight, right, so that is also very important, whether you have a large space so that the sensor can have a proper size so that it can be placed in that particular area. And the weight, right, weight is very important, especially in the automobile industry, right, because we cannot increase the weight of the vehicle. So all these things you should consider while you are selecting a sensor. Okay, so these are the different criteria which you should take care while selecting a sensor. Okay, so with this our topic is completed. Thank you guys.